Hey people, we had a protest march in Gulfport today, down by the beach, and the police made sure that they had took the post down, but there was a pallet of bricks here crossing the Regions Bank. I first saw it on my friend's Facebook page this morning, where somebody had posted it to the police page and waited till somebody had come and moved the bricks. But I know that our politicians and police sold out a long time ago. But Antifa don't want to come down here and mess up. The people ain't going to go for it at all. This is a word I learned from the Hodge twins, wepawations. And they're pretty funny guys there. I subscribe to them on Facebook and YouTube. I don't always agree with them, but they put out a 5 to 10 minute movie every day that makes me laugh most of the time. So I got to wondering if I could find this word in the Bible. And the first thing I thought about is when the people were leaving Egypt. And so I looked it up in Old King James to see how they wrote it. And it says there at 3:21, "And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty." And 22 says, "But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor, and of her that dwelleth in her house, jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and raiment. And ye shall put them upon your sons, and on your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians." So that raiment, a lot of versions say you borrow their dresses, put on your sons. So this is the end of Exodus 3, and it's called Moses at the Burning Bush, and it's all about the talk of the burning bush, which comes up here on the second line. "Appeared the angel of God to him in a flame, fire in the midst of a bush." You see the bush is the sun, the E is the, you can see it here, the bush, ESNE, the sun, where when the sun bare fire, when the sun bare base, and the sun when not, when nigh. You see this is, they say this AIN is not all the way through, but it's actually, A words read backwards. And so that's NYA, Naya, nada. And so this starts here at WN, when. The connected cycle is when. When not, look, LKA. Starts with A again, reads backwards, LKA. So, this 22 is really easy to read. You're going to get every word in it. But it's talking about the talking, the key, the K, the ka. Everybody look up your Hebrew letter meaning chart, and ka means to give. To give, the vey, to overlook, or the way, the Milky Way. The Milky Way, the milk is the king's, MLK, the Milky Way, the king's way. To give the talking, to learn, the bind knowledge is to learn, or of power, knowledge is power. To talk to rife, RIQM, RIFM, the rife from, the talk to rife from. They say rife is empty-handed, but it's not. Rife means widespread, extensive. And this next line explains that. To rife from, to widespread. And then 22 says, starts with a V. This means connected, or to SALE, to sail. And it starts with the A, it's backwards, ESA, this so. To sail this so is to sell it like this. To sail this so, from scanty and from great. M is from S-K-N-T-E, from scanty, small or insufficient. And from, U-M, and from, G-R-T, great, bite. To sell this so, from scanty and from great bite. You want to catch all the fish. You want to catch the small ones and the great ones. Make them bite, B-I-T-E. And then K-L-I, and it has a hyphen. This hyphen has you to read the next word backwards and then forwards. To K-L-I-P-S, P-S, K-S-P, the clips cusp. And clips cusp is an ancient method of debasement of money. To clip cusp, and they would trim the money down, take a die and hammer it back through the money and save those shards. And it's also called sweating. You put them in a bag and shake them down and get all the loose parts off. And when you sell your money, you have a bag of 100, you shake them hard enough, you have one in the bottom, you have one free one. People do that today, called sweating. They go to the bank and they buy bags of change, and then they go home and search through them and see if they can find anything old with a lot of silver in it. But it starts like this, and you clips cusp. Take your fingernail clippers and clip the edges off there and save that silver and gold. It's called debasement of currency. This was an old trick by Diogenes, the god Genes, Diogenes. His father was a controversial figure, minted coins for a living. Diogenes was banished from Sinope when he took to debasement of currency. To sail this so, from scanty and from great bite. Clips cusp and clease, K-L-I-Z-E. To eyes, to call, usually call, they say it means all most of the time in the Bible, and that's the ancient Latin to call them all up. But to clease, call eyes, I-Z-E. Eyes a suffix, and it means to bring together, to all bring together, to clease, to make, or to render, to all render, to clease. To clips cusp and clease in. This is K-L-I-Z-E, and then B is in. Clips cusp and clease in. And smelt, S-M-L-T. Smelt is what you do when you melt down metals. Melt down gold and silver to purify them. And smelt and smite from. Smite from is to hit it with a hammer, to hammer it out. It's another way of debasing money. It's another method of clipping is where they'll cut it and take plugs out of the middle and put and weld it back together, or any way they can steal the precious metals and fill it with worthless. To clip cusp and clease in, and smelt and smite. These are professional jewelry thieves. And smite from, all, and it has a hyphen, it reads backwards, M-K, to make, I-N, B-N-I-K, to make in bank from. And all, reads backwards and forwards again, to make it, M-K-I-T, to make it nab, N-B, nab, And when it says thou shalt not steal, it says nab. To make it nab and night. M-K-I-T. Make it N-B. Nab. N-T-I. Night come. To steal it in the night. To make it nab night come. When exalt from. When rise up. When exalt from. When rise up from. To, and then it reads backwards. The Myers, M-I-R-X, Myers. Myers is where your word admire come from. Something admires, to mire. To Myers, something admirable. To make the wonders. A wonder, to wonder. To Myers, and then reads back the other way, from extrium. From extrium means to sift out. That's where they get gypped. You've been gypped. The gypsies. They gypped you. The Myers from extrium, to sift out. When after you smelt it, you sift out the pure stuff. To sail this so from scanty and from great bite. The clip's cusp and clease in, and smelt and smite from, all make in bank from, and all make it nab night come. When exalt from, to Myers from extrium. From Myers, to extract from. And so what's going on today is just a big show. That's your real thieves are up in the office in Washington, and they're putting on this big show. And this ain't the first time it happens. It happens all the time. They rob a country of everything worth anything. They debase the money. And then they put on this big show while they escape with the loot. That's what it says. And that's why every time you see it says the God that brought you out of the land of Egypt, it's the E-V-X-A-T-I-K. The evicts. Evixit March. M-A-R-X. March. The evicts march. To bring them out is the evixium. E-V-X-I-A-M. Evixium. To bring, the evixia. Evixia comes from this base word, evict, E-V-X-A. Evicts. And so the people were kicking the government out. And the Hebrew is not the slaves. The Hebrew were the overseers. And you can see it in the word of Hebrew. It's spelled the obri, O-B-R, same word used for over, will be the Hebrew, overwork, O-B-R-I, the overwork, the ones the overseers. You can see that here in the Hebrew is the O-B-R-I-T, the Brit, Oberit. B-R-I-T is the same word used for the covenant. Every time there's a covenant, it's the Brit. And it means in writ. You can see here the Egyptian is E-M, them, or the mixed writ, R-I-T. The mixed writ and the oberit. But this is the base word for Hebrew, O-B-R-I. To see in first work. The ober, O-B-R, overwork. Alright people, it's time we wake up. There's nothing one man can do about this. We've all got to come together and wake up and fix this. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.